Peace, everybody. This is G Consciousness. Today I'm going to talk about the Four Horsemen and expound on Revelation a little bit. For those that don't understand it but want to understand it, we're going to do that for you today. Let me see if I can screen share here. That way I can get this information out. I'm waiting for another brother to come on. We're going to see. He said he might be asleep. He was supposed to expound this as well, the brother Amen. Let's see. Let me see. Open up a Bible here. We're going to be over in Revelations chapter 6 today. That's what we're going to do. Jump over that real quick. Revelation 6. Revelation 6 and 1. See if y'all can see my screen a little bit. Hold on. Hold on. Let me see. Let me screen share this real quick. I got all these windows open. Let me close a couple of things up, matter of fact. Close up. Come on. Oh, I got a Facebook. All right. All right, so let me get some stuff squared away here because look like my screen ain't showing like it should. I'm gonna try to share this. All right, so this is what we're gonna do. Because it looked like my screen ain't sharing. If anybody can hear me out there, press the number 1. Press the number 1 for me.
Peace.
What's going on, brother? Is my mic clear? Can you hear me?
Peace.
You can't hear me, brother? Can you hear me? Mic check.
Peace. Oh.
You hear me? Can you hear me? Let me see what's wrong with my mic. I think I'm having mic problems. Can you hear me? Mic check. Mic check. Do a quick mic check real quick, see what's going on. There's always some problems with this stuff. Mic check, mic check.
Peace, peace. What's good?
Can you hear me, brother?
Yeah, I can hear you now.
Oh, okay. Let me see if somebody. I'm put myself on mute real quick. Hold on. I'm having
Kind of breaking up. Yeah, I can hear you now.
Hold on.
Hello?
Yeah, I'm putting myself on mute real quick. I'm having some problems here. Let me get this stuff right, get it in order. You hear me, brother? What's your name again?
Yeah. Ones.
All right. You hear me clearly?
Yeah, I can hear you.
All right. So, man, what we gonna do today? Like I say, this one's on here. We up late. It's 10:39. The brother came in, and I appreciate you coming out, brother. And what we gonna
No
deal with?
problem.
We basically gonna deal with Revelations, chapter 6 and 1. We're gonna deal with the Four Horsemen. I don't know. Are you familiar with that?
Somewhat, yeah. I know you're talking about the Four Horsemen.
Yeah. So it's in Revelation 6 and 1. I'm gonna jump up real quick. We ain't gonna be that long. We got a couple of brothers listening in. I see let's see. Revelation 6 and 1. It says, "And I saw when the Lamb opened one of the seals, and I heard, as it were, the noise of thunder, one of the four beasts saying, Come and see. And I saw and behold a white horse, and he that sat on him had a bow, and a crown was given unto him. And a crown was given unto him, and he went forth to conquer and to conquer." The first thing we're dealing with is we see that seals are being opened. In other words, this is the first seal that is open. We see that a white horse come out. And mind you not, there is a book that was given to Jesus to open up, to be open. But before he can open, they had to crack the seals on this book, just as if you're reading a diary or something. You know how the little ladies used to have the seals or the lockets on it. So he opened up the first locket or the first seal that was on this book, and you see a white horse come out, and he that sat on him had a bow, and a crown was given unto him, and he went forth to conquer and to conquer. Now that's very important, because when we talk about the white horse, right, we can't get this twisted with the white horse is over later in Revelations that deals with basically the Christ coming from the skies or whatever the case may be, right? We can't get it twisted with that.
Yeah.
This white horse that we're dealing with is basically a dictator. As you see, it says a crown was given to him, and he was told to go forth and to conquer, basically. So mind you not, this first horse, this first seal, is the white horse. We're going to jump to 2 real quick. It says, "And I saw and behold," 3. "And when he had opened up the second seal, I heard the second beast say, Come and see. And there went out another horse that was red, and power was given to him that sat thereon to take peace from the earth, and to kill, and that they should kill one another, and there was given unto him a great sword." So understand this first, the second horse come forth. This second horse is a red horse. This is the second seal. This horse is to take peace away from the earth. and that they should kill one another, and there was given unto him a great sword. Now understand this. When there is a dictator, the dictator afterwards bring what you call war, because he's to take peace away from the earth. The man should kill one another. So only way men will kill one another if there is war, as we can see. So let's jump to the next verse. Verse 5. It says, and when he had opened the third seal, I heard the third beast say, come and see. And I beheld, and lo, a black horse. And he that sat on him had a pair of balances in his hand. And I heard a voice in the midst of the four beasts say, a measure of wheat. Underline that. It says a measure of wheat, of barley, for a penny. And see thou hurt not the oil and the wine. Now this is very important, because we see we have a dictator, right? Then we have war, and then we have a measure of wheat, a measure of commerce, a measure of economics, basically. And what is this? What is this saying to us? They're saying that as a dictator comes, war follows, and then also famine. And then as famine follows, then guess what? You must maintain a measure of balance out the economic system just as well. So these things all pertain to three riders. But we got some more riders here to go, right? So this is what follows. Watch this. It says, when he had opened up the fourth seal, I heard the voice of the fourth beast say, come and see. And lo, and behold, a pale horse, and his name that sat on him was Death. Watch this. This is the fourth horse, a pale horse, right? And his name that sat on him was Death, and hell followed him. And power was given unto him over the fourth part of the earth, to kill with sword, with hunger, with death, and with the beast of the field, or the beast of the earth, basically. So here we have, in actuality, we have 5 horses. Some people may didn't see that, but I'm gonna read it again. Verse 8. And I looked, and behold, a pale horse, and his name that sat on him was Death. So this is the fourth horse, right? Now watch this. And hell followed with him. So here's another horse. These are 2 riders, right? This is what we're dealing with. So check this out. So as we look, and we look at this closely, we see that we have the first horse, which deals with a dictator. We have war, which is to take away peace from the earth and cause men to kill each other. We have famine that follows, and then guess what follows with that? We have death and hell, basically. So what is death? What is hell? So we see these things that follow. We see the death follow, and then we also see hell. What is hell pertaining to the Bible or pertaining to the ancients? Basically, prison, so to speak, or whatever. This prison is for either in the afterlife. They were dealing with in ancient Kemet. They were basically, if your heart was outweighed from the feather and it was not balanced, then you was given over to a place of torment, or you was given to the croc, basically. Well, in the Bible, you're basically taken to hell, which is a flame of fire, or what we call basically in the latter days going to be the lake of fire. So this is what we're dealing with, all in one, right? So check this out. So we have, so we went through basically 4 seals. I mean, we went through 4 seals. For those who are just coming in, peace. I believe it's Evelyn. Peace to you, sister. I think I pronounced your name right. Let me see. Yeah, Evelyn. All right. Yeah, so that's basically what we're dealing with. When we deal with these horsemen, when we deal with these riders, once again, this is what it deals with. It deals with the first horse, which is a dictator. This horse is a dictator. Then with a dictator comes war. The red horse is a war horse. He is to take peace away from the earth. Then we have the third horse. The third horse deals with a famine, because famine and commerce, and it deals with economic, because as you can see, there is a balance scale when dealing with this third horse, right? So this third horse causes famine because of the war. So understand that. Then you have the fourth horse. The fourth horse deals with a pale horse. This horse deals with death, and it also deals with hell. Why? Because, like I say, with these other four, you have all these things that are in common and that follow. So this is simple. This is a simple breakdown. There's nothing hard about this when you read the book of Revelations. It's simple, right? Let's jump over real quick. Let's jump over to Revelations. Revelation 17. Let me see if my mic is I'm getting a couple of inboxes. I've been having internet problems all day. All right, so look, we're dealing with what you call Mystery Babylon. What is Mystery Babylon? We're going to deal with that. And we're going to read the text to understand what is Mystery Babylon. Check this out. Revelation 7 and 5. Let's jump to 5. Let's jump to 4 right quick. Not 3. It says, so he carried me away in the spirit into the wilderness, and I saw a woman sit upon a scarlet-colored beast, full of names of blaspheming, having 7 heads and 10 horns. And the woman was arrayed in purple and scarlet, and decked with gold and precious stones and pearls, having a golden cup in her hand, full of abominations and filthiness of her fornication. And upon her forehead was a name written, Mystery Babylon, the Great, the mother of harlots, the abominations of the earth. So understand this. This woman is symbolic. This whole setting right here is symbolic. First off, that's what I want to get to you. But what we're dealing with a woman that is called Mystery Babylon, and she's seated on the beast. Now, Mystery Babylon is actually a religion, and this woman is carried by a beast. So there is a religion that is being carried by a beast. The beast is symbolic as a system, basically. So you have a beast system that basically is symbolic. I mean, you have a beast system that basically is a system that deals with economics and politics, and is carrying a religious system, so to speak. That's what Mystery Babylon is dealing with. Let's go on. It says, upon her forehead was a name written, Mystery Babylon the Great, the mother of harlots, abominations of the earth. Now, what I want y'all to realize is this woman also, as we see up ahead, up above in verse 4, she has a golden cup in her hand. It says she is full of abominations and filthiness of her fornication. So in other words, this woman is an influence. She is an influence basically to the other nations, as we see. She has this cup in her hand, and she has influenced the beast just as well, because the beast is carrying her. Remember, she is a religious system, and also she is carried by a beast, which is the political system. So that's real simple, right? And she is influencing the whole world. Now watch this. We're going to prove that. Let's look at the beast a little bit. It says the beast has 7 heads and 10 horns. We're going to deal with those 7 heads, and we're going to deal with those 10 horns just as well. Because understand this, she has influenced those 7 heads and those 10 horns. And we're going to get the interpretation of those 7 heads and 10 horns. Therefore, you'll know how she has influenced them, which is the beast and the nations. Watch this. And I saw a woman, this verse 6, drunken with the blood of the saints and with the blood of the martyrs of Jesus. And when I saw her, I wondered with great admiration. In other words, John looked on this woman and he wondered with great admiration, looking on this woman in the spiritual realm. And the angel said unto me, wherefore didst thou marvel? I will tell thee the mystery of the woman. So he's basically going to give us the understanding or give us the interpretation of this vision of this woman in the wilderness, basically, with the beast who she is riding on. Watch this, excuse me. And the angel said, wherefore didst thou marvel? I will tell thee the mystery of the woman and of the beast that carried her, which have the 7 heads and 10 horns. The beast that thou sawest was. In other words, he's saying that this beast was. What does the beast consist of? What is the beast? Remember, the beast consists of a political system or economic that deals with economics, right? So this is a system, right? And this system is backed by a spiritual counselor or a deity, right? So watch this. Hold on for a minute. So watch this. It says, and the beast that thou sawest, the beast that thou sawest was and is not, and shall ascend out of the bottomless pit. Let's jump real quick so we can get the understanding of this and get the precept of this. The beast that was and is not, and shall ascend out of the bottomless pit. Let's jump to 11, Revelations 11, so we can see. This beast system basically is backed by a counselor, a counselor, basically, a divine counselor or entity, to where these men receive counsel from these entities back in the days, and this is how they became successful and basically dealt with their rulership. And we're going to deal with that. Revelations 11. Revelations 11. Where is it at? Revelations 11 and 7. And they shall have finished their testimony, and the beast that ascended out of the bottomless pit shall make war against them, and shall overcome them, and shall kill them. So we see that there is a beast that will ascend out of the bottomless pit. Who is this beast? What is the beast? The beast consists of a man, and the beast consists of a system, and this system is backed by a messenger, a fallen messenger that was and will be in the latter days. In other words, John was told that this beast was and is not and shall ascend out of the bottomless pit. So just picture this. In John's day, he's told that this beast was. In other words, he's not in John's day. But when was he? He was in ancient times, and he was one of the fallen angels or one of the deities that caused one of these empires to be great. And we're going to deal with that too. So you'll know what empire he caused to be great. And when that empire fell, that angelical being was also himself cast down and bound. That's why he's the beast that was and is not and shall ascend up out of the bottomless pit, because he was, as John being told, but he is not in John's day, but he will ascend out of the bottomless pit in the latter days. So let's jump back to 17. 17 and 8. The beast that thou sawest was and is not, and shall ascend out of the bottomless pit, as we see, and go into perdition. And they that dwell on the earth, watch this real quick. This real key right here. I just got something real quick. Revelation 17, as you see in there, it says 17 and 8, it says that he will go into perdition. Let's jump over to 2 Thessalonians real quick. 2 Thessalonians 2 and 5. It says, let's jump down a little bit. Jump down a little bit. Where is it at? Let's jump over to 3. I'm sorry. 2 Thessalonians 2 and 3. It says, let no man deceive you by any means, for that day shall not come except there come a falling away first. And we know that there's going to be many that's going to fall away. And that man of sin be revealed. Watch this, what it's going to say. The son of perdition. Watch what he's going to do, though. Who opposeth and exalted himself above all that is called God, or that is worshipped, so that he as God sitteth in the temple of God, showing himself that he is God, basically, as we see. So we see the son of perdition deals with basically the Antichrist, the man Antichrist. So what does the beast system consist of? The beast system consists of basically a angelical being and also a political beast system, and the beast, the angelical being, is behind the system. And then it also has a dictator. That dictator that we read about is the dictator this in Revelation 6 and 1. The white horse that comes out. So this is the whole thing. This is the whole thing. What's going on, brother? How you doing? Brother Yandre.
Hey, what's going on?
Peace, brother. I hope you're all right. I see you in that hospital, man.
Yeah, man. Yeah, man. I just picked up my phone, just been talking to my sister-in-law, and I saw this on there and I clicked on it. Yeah. Yeah, okay. I'm up here, but Most High, doing his healing. So I'm in good spirits.
Yeah, buddy. Yeah, we ain't doing that. Just going over this Revelations real quick, man.
Okay.
Yeah. So we jump back to Revelation 17 and 8.
Oh yeah, you know what? I was saving her for last.
What? I'm gonna jump off, fellas.
Okay.
I'm gonna jump off.
All right, peace, bro.
Yeah.
All right, peace.
Yeah, so as we can see, and it says, and the beast that was and is not, even he is the 8th, and is of the 7, and goeth into perdition. I skipped over something. I'm sorry. I definitely skipped over something. We was in 8. It says the beast that was, Revelation 17 and 8. The beast that thou sawest was and is not, and shall ascend out of the bottomless pit and go into perdition. And they that dwell on the earth shall wonder, whose names were not written in the book of life from the foundation of the world, when they behold the beast that was, but is not in John's day, and is not, and yet is to come, basically, as we see. Now here's where it's finna get real choppy at, but I want y'all to bear with me. Revelation 17 and 9, because this is going to deal with your empires, all your world empires that are related to what we call Mystery Babylon, or the religious system that is carried by this beast. This is where we're going to deal with the 7 heads and 10 horns, which we're going to break that down. It says, and here is the mind which have wisdom. He says the 7 heads are 7 mountains. So in other words, once again, these 7 heads which carry this woman, basically, on this beast, are mountains, right? So watch this. Let's jump real quick. Because most people say this is wrong. This ain't got nothing to do with wrong. Just jump real quick. Let's jump to, I want to say some to Daniel. I want to say Daniel chapter, is it 4? Let's see. Bear with me real quick. We finna find it right here in a minute. I'm just freestyling, so I ain't got nothing wrote down. But we finna find this scripture, because we gonna show y'all what these mountains is, or what this mountain is, or what it's dealing with. Hold on. I'm tripping. It's got something to do with the image. It's got something to do with the image. Yeah, it got something to do with the image. Yeah, here it is. I found it. Revelations 2:35. Says, then was the iron, the clay, the brass, the silver, and the gold broken to pieces together and became like the chaff of the summer threshing floor. Watch this. And the wind carried them away, that no place was found for them. And the stone that smote the image became a great mountain and filled the whole earth. Now understand this. When you talk about mountains in the ancient times were what people fortified their base at or their capital at, and they extended out as empires. So this is basically dealing with empires. And as we see here, the image became a great mountain and filled the whole earth. The rock that smote this is basically dealing with the rock that smote the image in the book of Daniel chapter 2. And it smote the whole image, basically, the image, what it dealt with and what it stood for, which was the empires and also political and economic system just as well. And the rock was cut from heaven, and the rock basically broke up their flow or whatever they had going. And this rock has to do with the coming kingdom, which will be established by Christ. And this rock basically will set up a great empire and a great kingdom. This should fill the whole earth. So I just wanted to jump to that real quick so we can get some understanding of that. Let's jump to Revelations chapter 17 back again. It says, the beast that thou sawest was and is not, and shall ascend out of the bottomless pit and go into perdition. And they that dwell on the earth shall wonder, whose names were not written in the book of life from the foundation of the world. Then they behold the beast that was, and it is not, and yet is. When they behold the beast that was, and is not, and yet is. And it says, and here is the mind which have wisdom. The 7 heads are 7 mountains. So these are 7 empires. Understand this. This beast that is carrying this woman has 7 heads. Understand that. It says, on which the woman sitteth. In other words, the woman sitteth on 7 empires. Or she, and what does that mean? What is that talking about? It says in there, watch what you're finna say. She sitteth on 7 empires. So this is symbolic. John is seeing this. John is getting the whole picture. Everything is clear to him. Everything is vivid to him. He knows what the beast is. And he knows what the woman is. And now he's getting interpretation of the beast. It says, and there are 7 kings. Mind you not, the beast itself is a whole. And then also out of the beast come forth 7 heads and 10 horns upon the 7 heads. So understand there's the 7 heads The seven heads are seven empires, and out of the seven empires, out of the seventh empire, come forth 10 horns. So watch. And there are seven kings. So upon these seven mountains, there are seven kings, and 5 are fallen. So look what he's telling John. He says, John, he says, there are seven kings. He said, John, 5 of these kings have fallen. So in other words, in John's day, John was told that there were 7 kings, and John was told that 5 are fallen. So 5 of those kings fell. Now watch what he's finna say. He says, and one is. In John's day, the one kingdom that was in John's day was the Roman Empire. So that would be the 6th. So John was living up under the 6th empire, which was the Roman Empire. John was told that 5 have fallen before his day. Now let's see who those 5 was. The 5 kingdoms that fell in his day, that ruled over Israel, that oppressed Israel, was Egypt, Assyria, Babylon, the Medes and Persians, and the 5th is the Grecian Empire. So before John's day, you had the Grecian Empire, you had the Medes and Persian, you had the Babylon, and you had also the Syrian, and you had also the Egyptian Empire. All of these kingdoms are kingdoms that basically ruled Israel, as we see, right? So watch what he says. He says the 7. I mean, he says, and one is, which is in John's day, which is the Roman Empire, as we just read. He says, and the other is not yet come. So this other kingdom has not yet come. What is this other kingdom? In other words, he's telling John, one is the Roman Empire, but the other kingdom has not yet come, John. The other kingdom, we're going to deal with that. It says, and one is, and the other is not yet come. And when he cometh, he must continue a short space. In other words, when this kingdom comes, or this 7th kingdom, he continues a short space of time. And we're going to deal with that because the book of Daniel deals with that. Hold on, give me a minute, y'all. I got some stuff going on I need to take care of. Yeah, it seems like people would like to get real active when I'm doing the show, very active. So I gotta be paused and then putting stuff on mute. I try to do the show at 11 or 10:30 because everybody will be laid down, I thought, but everybody want to move around. So, and want to wash at 11 o'clock at night, so to speak. So anyway, before I was rudely interrupted, let me get to where I need to. Let's see. Hold on, y'all. Yeah, I'm sorry, you guys. So, anyways, we got all stuff going on, you know. Jesus Christ, you can't even get it in over here. I try to wait till it's late to try to get it in. I can't even do that. That's crazy. Get real active around here at nighttime. It's like the devil know when to move around and when to try to stir people up to get to moving around instead of them just going to go lay on down and lay on back. Well, anyways, let me finish the show before I was rudely interrupted. Kind of threw me off a little bit. It says, "In the beast, that thou what?" Oh, I'm sorry. Where am I at now? So it says, "He and when he cometh, he must continue a short space." So what does that mean? It means that when this seventh kingdom come, this seventh kingdom will continue a short space. Let's deal with the seventh kingdom real quick. Jump over to Daniel. Jump over to Daniel. Matter of fact, let's stick with stay in Revelations real quick, so we can close it on out. 17. So as we can see, the seventh kingdom comes and it continues a short space of time, right? It doesn't last that long. We're going to show you why. Because the beast that was and is not, even he is the eighth. So when the beast come, or when you deal with the eighth beast or the spirit or the son of perdition, that consists of, like we said, a system, also a man, and behind that man is an angelical counselor that counsels this man, or a divination or a spirit, right? That counsels this man, right? So this beast, he causes the seventh kingdom not to continue that long, right? So what he does is he becomes the eighth kingdom. Watch. And it says, "In the beast that was and is not, even he is the eighth, and is of the seven," or he is one of the seven. Remember, I told y'all that he was and he is not, and he is yet to come. Or he should ascend from the bottomless pit. Well, who is this? This beast is what you call the Grecian or the angelical king. They will be released from the bottomless pit, and he will counsel the man Antichrist and also the system, basically, or the dictator. He will counsel him. This is when we go back to Daniel chapter, I believe 8, and he talks about that 4 kingdoms shall stand up out of the Alexander's the great horn, right? The horn will be broken and 4 shall stand up out of it. And he says, out of one of those 4s, or one of those 4 areas, because you know the Alexander's kingdom was broken up into 4 quarters. I believe it was Turkey, Syria, Egypt, and what is it? Turkey, Syria, Egypt, and what was the other one? Turkey, Syria, Egypt. Let me look that up real quick. I'm tripping. I need to look that up. Let me look this up for y'all. I didn't forgot it that quick. Daniel. That's it. Turkey, Syria, Egypt, and Greece. So this kingdom was broken up into 4 kingdoms, right? And this kingdom, after it was broken up, there was areas. And from out of one of these 4 areas will come forth a little horn. Watch this. Let's read that real quick. Daniel chapter 8 and 8. It says, therefore the heat go waxed very great, and when he was strong, the great horn was broken, and for it came up 4 notable ones toward the 4 winds of the heaven. And out of one of them came forth a little horn. Now understand, the little horn is the Antichrist. Remember, the Antichrist is basically deals with a man, and the man is going to be counseled by a spirit that will be released from the bottomless pit. Divine. It will be a divine counseling that will take place. That he will use the Antichrist as a tool to be a dictator, basically, right? And it says, therefore the heat go waxed very great, and when he was strong, the great horn was broken, or Alexander the Great was broken, and this great horn died, Alexander died, I believe, I want to say 35, and for his kingdom came up 4 notable ones. So out of his kingdom stood up 4 kings, basically. And 4 divisions. 4 divisions. And from these 4 divisions, a little horn comes from one of these 4 divisions, basically. What's going on, Brother Lex?
Peace. What's up, bro?
Peace. Yep. So he comes up from one of these 4 divisions, basically. And it says, where am I at? Verse 9. And out of one of them came forth a little horn. So out of one of these 4 divisions, or these quarters, that Alexander the Great, his generals ruled, which was Syria, Greece, Turkey, or Egypt. There was one of those areas, right? Out of one of them areas come forth a little horn. And we know that the little horn is symbolic for a king, right? And this king should be a ruler or a dictator in the last days. This is the king that I'm telling you about in Revelation chapter 6, which comes out as the white horse rider, basically. Hold on, Lex, I'm going to mute your mic. You got an echo in the back.
I'll mute it.
Okay. So this king is basically the ones that this king comes out. He comes out one of these divisions, and he's called the little horn. Now watch what it's going to say. Which waxed exceeding great towards the south, and towards the east, and towards the pleasant land. Now understand this, and we're going to show you that this king is a king that is a latter-day king, and this king is a dictator. Just watch this. This king waxed great towards the south, which at that time in this scripture, and Daniel deals with Egypt, then also the east, which deals with Iraq, Iran, and Palestine, because it tells you, it says that he waxed great towards the east, right? He waxed great towards the south, and also the pleasant land. So he's going to be great, and he's going to be a great dictator in these lands, right? That's what we're dealing with. So Greece, Turkey, Syria, and Egypt. Now, mind you not, these states that we're dealing with at this point, they're all Islamic states. So understand that. So he's going to wax great in these areas in these last days. So this is what this is dealing with. So let's jump back over to Revelations real quick. So it says, and the beast that was is not. So in other words, it's saying that he's not, but even he is the 8th. In other words, he is the 8th kingdom. Remember, the 7th kingdom or the 7th empire only continues for a short space of time. Remember, in John's day, it was the sixth empire, which was the Roman Empire. So that's not hard. So John is told that the seven will come, and once he comes, he continues for a short space of time. This seven that we see, out of this seven will come forth 10 horns. The seventh empire will come forth 10 horns. This seventh kingdom is the revised Roman Empire, basically. Why do I say revised? I'm not saying resurrected. I'm saying revised, because this is revised up under 10 kings. That's what the 10 horns are symbolic for. They deal with 10 kings, basically. So the seventh horn, or the seventh head, deals with, the seventh mountain, or the seventh empire, has 7 horns. And those 7 horns are 7 kings. So out of that 7 head comes forth 7 horns, right? So check this out. So it says, and the 10 horn, it says, and the beast that was and is not, even he is the 8th. He is the 8th kingdom. So he comes after the 8th kingdom. Why does he come after the 8th kingdom? He comes after the 7th kingdom. He subdues 3 of those heads of the 7th empire, which is the revised Rome. So he subdues them, and after he subdues them, then guess what? They give their power unto him, the rest. We're going to read that. It says, in the 10 horns which thou sawest are 10 kings. Let's jump back up to 11 real quick. It says, even he is the 8th, and is of the 7th. In other words, he is one of the 7. In other words, he is the force that was here that caused the great conquest of the Alexander Empire, which was a mighty counselor, which was bound during that time, which was an angelic being that gave counsel and was a tool used to cause basically the conquest of Alexander the Great. Because as we read in the book of Daniel, we read that these spirits was used as divine tools, or was used as tools basically to cause great conquest. And these are the gods that these people basically will call on and get divine counsel and also get instructions. So this spirit was actually put down. So let's read something real quick. It says, and goeth into perdition. It says, and the 10 horns which thou sawest are 10 kings. So the 10 horns which thou sawest are 10 kings, as we just addressed. Under the revised Roman Empire, they are 10 kings, right? Which have received no kingdom as yet. So he's telling John, he says, John, the 10 kingdoms, the 10 horns which thou sawest are 10 kings. They ain't received no kingdom yet at all. In your day, John, they have no kingdom. So this is not talking about the Roman Empire in John's day, but this is talking about revised Rome, because Rome kind of like dispersed or broke apart basically due to the forming of the Islamic states and the Arabs being confederate with each other and basically taking the lands, because the Arabs are the eastern portion of the Roman Empire, begin to be way stronger than Rome. So this is where you get your crusades from, because they felt that they were stronger. So guess what they're going to do? They're going to take their lands. So in the Roman Empire, you had a lot of confusion within itself, and a breaking apart from the eastern portion, just as well as the western portion. So you had a great clashing between these people, and the Roman Empire consisted of, at that time, about 70 AD, of Italians, probably like 22% at the most. So it was just like 22% at the most, right? Italians. The rest basically consisted of dealing with Arabs and dealing with also other nations that was in the Roman Empire. Because most people will think that, oh, the whole Roman Empire was Italians. Nah, that's not correct. That's wrong. So check this out. It says, and the 10 horns which thou sawest are 10 kings, which have yet received no kingdoms as yet. but received power as kings 1 hour with the beast. That 1 hour that we see with the beast, because the beast is the 8th kingdom. This beast is the one that comes after the 7th kingdom. The 7th kingdom only continues a short space of time, as we read up earlier, right? And watch what he's finna say. Say, these have one mind and should give their power and strength unto the beast. In other words, they give their power and they give their strength into the beast, right? And it said, and we read who the beast was. The beast is the Antichrist. It says, or the little horn, when you read the book of Daniel. So watch this. It says, these shall make war with the Lamb, and the Lamb shall overcome them. For he is Lord of lords and King of kings, and they that are with him are called and chosen and faithful. Now I want to bring out something real quick, because this is very important. When you deal with the 10 horns or the revised Roman Empire that will come about in the latter days out of the 7th empire, let me jump to Daniel 7 real quick. Daniel 7. Let's jump to Daniel 7 and 7. Watch this, because it mentions the horns here just as well. It says, after this I saw in the night vision, and behold, a fourth beast, dreadful and terrible, strong exceedingly, and it had great iron teeth, and it devoured and brake in pieces and stamped the residue with the feet of it, and it was diverse from all the beasts that were before it, and it had 10 horns. Now mind you not, the fourth beast, when we deal with the book of Daniel, basically deals with the Roman Empire, right? And the latter times that he was talking about. Now watch this. And out of the Roman Empire comes forth 10, the revised Roman Empire comes forth 10 kings. Now understand this. The fourth beast out of this Roman Empire and the latter days, because remember the Roman Empire fell, but it will be revised. Once it is revised, 10 horns come up out of this kingdom. And watch this. I considered the horns, and behold, there came up among them another little horn, before whom there were 3 of first horns plucked up by the roots. So in other words, there's 10 horns that come up out of this revised Roman Empire, right? The 7th kingdom. They must continue a short space of time because the 8th has to come in. Now watch this. When these 10 horns come up, a 11th horn comes up, and he plucks up 3 of those horns, basically. He plucks up 3 of those horns. Now understand this. This is telling us that revised Rome, upon the 10 kings, which is the 7th empire, is going to continue a short space of time, because the 8th kingdom, which is which is the 8th kingdom, which is headed by the little horn, he plucks up 3 of those 10 kings, and he causes those 10 horns or 10 kings basically to basically give their power unto him, as we read in Revelations just a minute ago in 17. So this is what take place. Watch, let me read it again. And I considered the 10 horns, and behold, there came up among them another little horn, before whom there were 3 of the first horns plucked up by the roots. In other words, he comes forth and he plucks 3 of those horns up of those 10. Remember, he is the 11th horn. He comes up after. Understand that he comes up after those 10 horns. So he is the 11th, and he plucks up 3 of those 10 horns, and the rest submit to him. This is why the 7th kingdom only continues a short space of time. Revised Rome only continues a short space of time. So what is this dealing with? The 10 kingdoms deal with your European Union, right? And your European Union does not just consist of your European, but also Islamic states. But there is another Islam that is more stricter, that does not deal with the economic and the politic system as the European Union deal with, though they are one and the same. But for the most part, this one is more of a strict religion. This is a stricter religion. And through this religion is stricter. This is the form of the purest Babylonian religion that there is. And these are the people that will rise up and conquer the European Union and cause it to fall. And these are what we call the Islamic states. And these Islamic states consist of radical Islamics that will rise up with the advance of superpowers of Russia, Iran, which is basically Russia is a superpower, China is a superpower, and they will give Iran, they will give the Islamic states the power that they need basically to defeat the European Union or the Roman Empire or revised Roman Empire, so to speak. And they have done this before, because remember, the Islamic states put off the yoke of the European Union or the Europeans in or the Roman Empire, so to speak. I'm sorry, the Roman Empire, so to speak. In what? When we see the Ottoman Empire, when we see Muhammad rise up in 630 AD, I believe, during that time, we see that during this time, even before Muhammad, basically these Arabs or these Arab states or these Easterners begin to rise up and come against the Roman Empire and cause a lot of commotion in the Roman Empire. So watch this. Let's jump real quick. Jump real quick. Watch this. It says, "In the 10 horns out of this kingdom are 10 kings that shall arise, and another shall arise after them." Remember, I told you that the little horn arises after them, and he shall be diverse from the first. He's going to be diverse from the first of these horns. So you have 10 horns, 11 horn rises after them. And it says, "And he shall be diverse from the first, and he shall subdue 3 kings." In other words, he subdues 3 of these kings of the 10. So understand that this is revised Rome, the 7th kingdom that continues for a short space of time in the latter days. Once it continues for a short space of time, because the little horn rises up, he established the 8th kingdom, and he plucks up 3 of those horns of the revised Roman Empire, or 3 of those kings. And the rest, they submit to him, because we see that. It says, "And the 10 horns out of this kingdom are 10 kings that shall arise, and another shall arise after them, and he shall be diverse from the first, and he shall subdue 3 kings." Now understand this. If he was with these 3 kings, why would he basically subdue them? That's because he's not with them. So when we're dealing with the Islamic states, what we must realize and look at, that revised Rome and that the 8th kingdom that rise up after them, he is against them. So these Islamic states, basically with the help of the Russians, with the help of China, these states basically will subdue. They will definitely subdue the European Union or the revised Roman Empire. So watch this. So he's diverse from them. He's not with them. He's against them. Understand that. He subdues them. They all have one plan and one mind for the same thing, but it's just who is going to do it at a better rate, or who is going to do it better, basically. So we have a clash, and we can see it. We've seen the Islamic states do it before through the Ottoman Empire, and they're going to do it again. They just need a superpower behind them. We are seeing Russians that are becoming Islamic states. We have a prophecy that tells us that Gog and Magog, Gog of Magog, is basically going to line up with Persia, which is the Iranians, and then also with the Libyans. So these are Islamic states. These are radical movements with Tagoma. And remember these lands, because these lands, they have ancient names, and they actually call themselves by the name of these lands to this day, Tagoma, Magog. It's just that now they modernized and say, oh, this is Russia. But in reality, these were actual lineages or names of ancestors that came down, because in the ancient times, whatever land you went to, you would conquer that name, and you basically would name that land after you, basically, and that's what they was doing. So let's jump back over to Revelations, and then we're gonna finish up and close out. Revelation 17 and 16. And the 10 horns which thou sawest upon the beast, these shall hate the whore. In other words, they're going to hate the religious system. So they're going to put the religious system off. See, because the religious system is what's controlling them right now. They're going to establish another system, and this system is going to set up the false prophet in the image to be worshipped, basically. This is what sets up the mark of the beast. See, this is actually the all-seeing eye. What do I mean by that? This is intel. In other words, intel must be taking place, because this system, the beast system that's coming forth, it must have much intel. Because when we talk about the mark of the beast, this basically deals with what you're going to buying, selling, and trading. You can only buy, sell, and trade through this mark. And one of the ways they introduce this mark is by what you call crisis management. What is crisis management? Crisis management is when you create a crisis and then you manage it through a solution. So you give the people a solution, and that solution is the all-seeing eye. What is the all-seeing eye? It means security, basically. Eyes everywhere. Eyes everywhere, eyes on everything, basically. And these eyes that they're talking about is surveillance, and this is what caused Satan or Lucifer to be omnipresent and omnipresent, to be everywhere at one time through surveillance. Surveillance is everywhere, because you yourself will be a walking microchip. You're going to be able to buy, sell, and do all these things through this microchip if you receive this microchip. But the Bible tells you not to receive it. So in the latter days, they're going to be doing these things. And you know what? I wouldn't even say just the microchip within itself. I'm sorry. I keep saying the microchip because that's something that I heard. Actually, it could, that's just something that I heard. This is the number of the beast, or the mark of the beast, basically, that's going to be put on you. I don't know if it's a brand or whatever it is, but with this mark, you will not be able to buy, sell, or anything in that aspect. So this is what we talk about when we talk about in Revelation chapter 6 and 1 or 6 or chapter 6, when it talks about the balance of the black horse and the scales, and the famine deals with the barley and the wheat, because it will be controlled. And then another thing too, what you must realize, if there is a famine, this is one of the reasons why we do what you call artificial food production, because the government, they need their hand basically in what? In agriculture. because they need to basically have the production. That way they can set up this mark and control the food, control these lands. So this is simple. So let's go on. And she'll make her desolate and naked, and she'll eat her flesh and burn her with fire. Now understand this. Literal Babylon, religious Babylon has a literal place. So literal Babylon is actually a city, and it deals with a religious system, a headquarters, basically. So this literal city will be burned up, and also this religion will go forth and be desecrated just as well, to establish a new system, a system that they're trying to establish to us right now through the science, through taking basically an ancient hope that stemmed back from the ancient times, that man will be promised immortality through his intellect or by his intellect, which is a lie. But we're going to deal with that on the latter time or later. It says, for God hath put it in their hearts to fulfill his will and to agree and give their kingdom to the beast, until the words of God should be fulfilled. It says, and the woman which thou sawest is that great city. Remember, she is a literal city just as well as a religious system, which reigneth over the kings of the earth. Now, most of y'all might say, well, this is America that does that. America is only a stage. It is only a puppet. In reality, the eighth kingdom that will rise up, which again will be basically the Fertile Crescent, or the place of headquarters of trade, will once again be Mesopotamia, or so to speak, Babylon, or so to speak, Sumer. Why is that? Because this is the nation or the country that basically did establish so much, domesticating animals, trading with the Nile Valley, so much things that they established. Matter of fact, in the times of Elamana, in his times of Akhenaten, the major language during that time was a Semitic Babylonian language. So they always had an influence on the trading routes, basically, as we can see. But with that being said, I just want to say I'm finna sign up out of here. It's 11:46. Right timing. I wasn't on that long. I started at 10:30. I've been on about an hour and some over. So with that being said, I just want to say peace to everybody. And for those that listen in, I appreciate it and thank you.